What's up, YouTube? Today is November 1st. This is my 1-month surgiversary. I did not make a video last week because I was just going to wait and make it this right now. Plus, I didn't have a loss, which frustrated me, and I didn't want to be Debbie Downer. So, today would have been 3 weeks officially of no loss right after surgery of a stall. If I had not lost, fortunately, I stepped on the scale and I was down to 357. A couple times 356.2, 0.4, stepped on it about 6 times, and I'm going to go with 357 to be safe. So my numbers, I had surgery on October 1st in Tijuana, Mexico with Dr. Sergio Quinones, who is a excellent, wonderful surgeon, by the way. And if anybody is interested in what surgery is like in Tijuana, Mexico, I have some links. My husband made 3 in-depth videos of our entire trip, and I'll try to link those in the comment section, or I'll link them below so that you guys can watch them if you want. They're on his channel. But, so my numbers. I started, my highest weight was 422. When I started my pre-op on, I had to do 28 days of a pre-op. 2 weeks of it was liquid and 2 weeks of it was like, I think just a weight loss thing. And so I did a 28-day one, but I started almost 2 weeks early. So I started it on August 22nd of this year. And since that time to the day of surgery, I lost, let's see, I have it on a piece of paper. I made this video once and it was really long because I didn't have this done. So 409, and day of surgery I was 372. That was a 37-pound loss in that almost 6-week time period. And then since that day, the first week after surgery, I lost 3 pounds. And then the next week it was 9 pounds. And then today, another 2 pounds. So actually, I think it was somewhere messed up because it says I've lost a total of 15 pounds since surgery, which I'll take in 1 month. So that is a total loss since my highest weight, of 65 pounds. That's phenomenal. That could be why I'm in a stall, because my body's trying to process all the weight I already lost. I don't know. Plus, I just really wasn't eating much. And one thing I want to talk about, when I do eat, protein makes me sick. It just does. It always has since I can remember. I've never been a really big meat eater. And so, like eggs make me sick. Anything with high amounts of protein really doesn't do well with me. Chicken was always okay, but even a lot of chicken, I mean, I love the flavor of chicken, but I would eat it, and I probably would eat like up to 4 ounces, and even that would make me feel nauseous. So just haven't been a really big meat eater, and that could be because I was so addicted to carbs. I'm not sure, but you know, my body has been off them for a while, and yet protein even almost makes me sicker now than it did before, especially the protein drinks. They kind of make me want to gag. I've been on the same one, though, since my pre-op. And so that one was, or what I'm doing is the Syntrax, Nectar, Chocolate, Truffle. And I like it okay, but I don't like any protein drinks. None of them. They all taste like poop. Every single one of them. And this is the only one that I can even stomach enough to drink. People were saying I needed to stop drinking my protein by this time and start eating it, but I don't think that will be possible because I can barely even stuff 2 ounces of food down my throat. So let's get to what I wanted to talk about. When I eat, let's say I want to scramble an egg, I can maybe get a half of an egg down. It's kind of frustrating, and I know that other people have this issue as well, but how are you supposed to get protein? I'll eat that half of egg, and I'll eventually get the whole egg down if I sit there for like 45 minutes, but you know, it's like I eat it and then I'm done. I don't want anything for like 6, 7, 8 hours. And really, I don't want anything even then, but I feel like I have to eat, so I'll eat something else. And chicken is something that when I ground it up after I've cooked it and stuff. I try to do that so that, I don't know, I'm just a little afraid of things getting stuck. So I ground it up after I eat it, maybe mix a little bit of mayonnaise with it or something, and it stays in my stomach for longer even. And so I maybe eat twice a day. That's all I can do when I'm eating pure protein. And so I've found myself reaching for bad stuff because during my pureed stage, I did a lot of refried beans mixed with salsa, usually from Taco Bell, and some French onion soup and things like that. And I ate refried beans mixed with salsa a lot during my pre-op stage. Maybe, well, not a lot, but 2 or 3 times a day. And it was usually about 2 ounces or less. And it's kind of carby, you know? And so, and I found that that stayed down, or everything stays down, but I found that that doesn't make my stomach hurt. So I would eat that. Mashed potatoes, although I didn't even really have a taste for mashed potatoes, but they stayed down. I think I ate them twice. And then, like I said, the French onion soup. I tried some pureed egg salad. No. Ugh. Oh, God, it makes me want to throw up thinking about it. I tried some pureed tuna salad. Ugh. Again, I'm going to throw up. So I just really didn't do much during my period stage. Now that I'm on my soft stage, I tried, maybe I'll link the site. What I'm trying to talk about is, what should I be eating? I don't even know, because everything I eat makes me sick unless it's carbs. My husband's been buying some of the 7-layer bean dip, and I know it's probably not a great choice. I know it's not, but it goes down really well. And so I'll go down and I'll take one of their tortilla chips and give me a really good scoop of it, and I'll chew on that for a really long time, and I'll eat that. But then I'll go out again an hour later and I'll get another one, and I'll go out again an hour later and I'll get another one. So it's keeping more of a constant supply of food in my system, and I've been feeling better, and ta-da, I lost 2 pounds. Maybe that's not real. Maybe I'll have a gain again next week, which will really piss me off. But I don't know. What do I eat? Help me out, please. Give me some ideas of things on my soft food stage. I'm not an Italian lover. I'm so picky. I'm sorry, I'm so picky. But all I can envision myself eating forever, and it's kind of depressing, is like lunch meats with a pickle slice and some cottage cheese. Like, am I going to eat that every day for the rest of my life? No. Or just, you know, cook myself a 4-ounce chicken breast and eat a couple ounces of it, eat a couple ounces of it later. I feel like that's all I'm going to be eating for the rest of my life. And I am just irritated about it, because that food lover in me is like crying and wanting to eat things. And I know I can't. I don't really have. It's really weird. I was like addicted to sweets really bad. I had to have my sweets, and then I had to have my salt, or I had to have my salty things and then my sweets, but they were together. And now it's more like I'm just eating what I can keep down. Sometimes I'm really not even hungry at all, and I don't want anything. I just eat because I know I have to. But I would eat sweet things all the time, and now I don't really have a taste for it. When I walk through the candy aisle, I don't really want any of it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I could, you know, go back to my old self and actually want some of that, but I don't want it now, which actually I'm happy about. But because I know that contributed to a whole lot of my 400 pounds woman self. So I don't know. If you guys have any ideas or something, that'd be great. Last night I made something that was really disgusting, and I really was looking forward to it. I thought it was going to be really good. For me, it was disgusting. My family thought it was okay, but they don't really like chicken legs, and that's what I made. It's called Sticky Chicken, and it's by a bariatric blogger. She has a lot of recipes on there, and I feel guilty when I look at those recipes because I feel like, can they really be that good for me? There's a lot of stuff on there that I want to make really badly, but it makes me feel guilty because if if I want it, it must not be very good for me. But I'll link that below so you guys can check that out. Other than that, ideas would be great. At this point, I'm still on soft food, but here in about a week and a half, I'll be moving to regular foods. Can I eat salad at that time? I guess I could. Yeah, I guess I could. Well, anyways, I digress. Let's see. Something else I was going to talk about. Oh, I was really bummed out Wednesday on my weigh-in day because I, again, didn't lose anything. So I went to Cato with my cousin Autumn, and she made me, I was like, I've never been able to just go into a store and buy things that fit me in a really long time, actually. So I went into Cato, and I was thinking, I'll just try on a pair of 28s since I started fitting into my 28s here at home that I hadn't fit into in a while. I was like, I'm going to put on a 28 and see if it fits me. And I was like, get a 26 just in case. So I can just, I'm curious to see if it goes around me. And so she was looking for a 26, and she's like, I can't find a 26. I can find this 28, and I can find this 24. And I was like, well, just give me the 28. And she's like, take the 24 too. And I was like, no, it's not going to work. So I took it back because she wouldn't shut up. And I tried it on, the first one I tried on, and I was like pulling out my legs. I was like, this is not going to go around me because it was like real tight at about like right above the knee. It was already starting to get tight. But I kept pulling, and I pulled it up around my butt, and then, you know, I had to kind of like work at it and get it up around my fat part, and I buttoned it and I zipped it, and they were really tight, but they buttoned and they zipped, a size 24. I haven't been able to do that in, well, not since I've been married, and that's been over 5 years now. So I'm smaller than I have been in 5 years at least, and I don't think I've been able to wear a 24 at least comfortably, and it's still not comfortable. It's really tight, but since my daughter was born, and even then I think I was more like a size 26. So it's really exciting that I could get into that. Hold on. Can I help you?
I can talk to you when you're done.
Okay. Love you.
It was beautiful.
Hate it when people, thank you.
Like beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. My daughter did my makeup today, and I was messing around with my hair last night with some curler things, and I like how it turned out, but when I was first taking them out, not so much. I had to play around with it a lot. So I hate when people are listening to me. I feel like I can't talk and be myself. So I hope she's gone. I don't even know how long this is running. I was going to talk about my life today. I'll give you a little bit of pre-details, and maybe I'll go more in depth on my next video. I didn't think I was going to have a lot to talk about. I always think that, and then I talk forever. But, okay, so me, growing up. I grew up with my grandparents when I was 18 months old. I don't really have a lot of resentment towards her anymore, but I think what I used to say is my mom got sick and took me to my grandparents and never came back and got me. It's kind of a mean way to put it. She did have something wrong with her back. She was really young and very irresponsible, and she did leave me with my grandparents, and then I was there for a while. My grandparents finally just said, what do you want? You want us to take her? And she said, yeah. So when I was 18 months old, I went to live with my grandparents. Of course, they're the only ones I knew growing up as my parents. I mean, they were my grandparents. I knew they were my grandparents, but they were more like my parents. And so they raised me in a very small town in Iowa. And everybody knew everybody. I was very made fun of throughout my entire school process. When I was 15 years old, my mom decided she wanted me back, maybe make a go of it. So I went back to live with her. My grandparents are very religious, so I was very naive to the world. And so I went to go live with my mom when I was 15. I felt like my grandparents were kind of pushing me out. I was really sassy. I wasn't bad. I was just really, really sassy. And they thought I wanted to go, and I just wouldn't go because of them. So they were kind of urging me towards it. So I went, and I lived with my mom and her husband, which I loved to death. They got a divorce, and I don't ever see them anymore. I have a lot of abandonment issues. But I went to live with her. Needless to say, I started hanging around with a lot of the wrong people, which I did not do when I lived in Iowa. I lived in Kansas with my mom. And people accepted me there. The wrong people, but they accepted me. And I had all these friends that I had never had before. And I still love every one of them, but we were definitely not good kids. We got into some trouble, and eventually I got pregnant and had my daughter when I was 20 years old. Got pregnant when I was 19, had her when I was 20. I did a lot of drugs. I stopped it while I was pregnant, and I stopped it for like the first 3 months of my daughter's life, and then things came back. It was never real hardcore drugs, but I did a lot of drugs, like every day. And so I always would have my mom babysit. Long story short, and I'll get more into it, my daughter saved my life because my mom did not take my daughter one night, and my daughter was in the back room while I was partying really hard, and she started crying a lot. And I think that I did this already in my 10 questions video, I think. I feel like I'm getting cold. So you can go watch that, but she saved my life because I believe I probably would have killed myself because I was really messed up on drugs. And she started crying right when I was getting ready to do it. So I ran back and I grabbed her and I held her. And 2 hours later, my cousin called and said, "I'm moving back to Iowa. Are you coming?" And I said, "Of course," because that was my sign that I needed to change my life. And so I moved back to Iowa and back in with my grandparents. Started doing better things. Went to college. Became a medical lab technician. It was just me and my daughter, of course. The father has never wanted anything to do with her. And so, and then I had little things along the way. I had this really weird leg condition. My grandma had to basically take care of my daughter for about 3 months of my life because I was on the couch debilitated with something called erythema nodosum syndrome, where I got a bunch of nodules all over my legs, and they were really raised and red, and they gave me arthritis-like symptoms times 100. It was really the most painful thing I think I've ever been through. I couldn't even walk. I couldn't. It was way too painful. So I was laid up for about 3 months, and that was an interesting ordeal. Just weird things like that have happened to me all throughout my life. When I was in college, I woke up one morning, my eye was really foggy. I was trying to rub the fog out of it. Went to the eye doctor to figure out why it wasn't leaving. He said, "Oh, we need to get you to a specialist right away, a retinal specialist." I'm like, "Why?" I went that day. They got me in a bigger city that day. I drove to that city. The doctor did all the tests that he could do, told me that I had a blood vessel growing through the back of my eye, the same way that a older person with wet macular degeneration would have. So a blood vessel was growing through the back of my retina, and so I had a big hole there, and that's why I was seeing a big foggy blob in my eye. Went through a lot of stuff. They lasered it eventually to get it to stop bleeding. More grew through. I had like probably about 17 to 20 shots in that eye to stop bleeding. Actual needles being poked into my eye. They said it probably would never happen in my right eye. My left eye was basically completely blind. And still is. The number that they give it is counting fingers at 4 or 5 feet, because there is no number for this eye, for my left eye. And so I graduated college. I went to work in Iowa, where I live now. I moved back there, but I went to work in Iowa at a hospital, and loved my job. Was raising, had my cousin Autumn living with me, which She lived with me since she was like 16. And then I had my cousin Daniel living with me. Plus I was raising my daughter, and my cousin Daniel was like 11, 12 at that time. I raised him for about 3 years. He was getting in some trouble, and he ran away, and he eventually went back to his parents, and I moved away, and my cousin moved away, and I moved back to a smaller town closer to my grandparents and got a job there. My right eye went. Started doing the same thing. Had to quit my job because I was reading patient results wrong, which could be very dangerous for them. So, had to quit my job. My doctor recommended that I apply for disability. I am now legally blind in both eyes. This one, they give the number 2400. This is with glasses. So if nobody knew this before, I am legally blind with glasses on. I'm actually white cane certified, I guess you could say it. I could be using a white cane. I just choose not to. You know, sometimes I need help with steps and things like that. Reading things. I always have my iPad. You'll see me, I have my iPad up to here trying to read something. It's really bad, actually, but lots of people don't realize it, and I try not to dwell on it. And it just continued to get worse. So, and I think it's gotten even worse since I've been married. Met my husband, it was a very quick courtship. Met him through kind of online things, an email that I had gotten, and he had an eye disease, and I was trying to figure out what he had done. Figured out that we had a lot of things in common, and he lived in Flagstaff, Arizona. I ended up marrying him 6 months later, and my daughter and I moved with him to Flagstaff, Arizona. And that was fun. So I lived in Flagstaff, Arizona, and then 3 years later, we moved to Phoenix. 2 years later, we moved to Phoenix for about 9 to 10 months, which was the worst place ever that I've ever lived because it was so hot. Then eventually I was able to talk my husband into moving back to Iowa because I miss my family. And so that's where I am now. I'm back in Iowa, in the original town that I worked in after college. And my cousin Autumn's back, and everything is a lot better, especially now that I've had my surgery, and I know that things will get better in that area as well. I'm sorry, I gave you way more information than I was intending to and talked way longer than I thought I was going to, but just giving you that little bit of background. If you have any questions about it or anything, just leave them down below and I'll answer anything. I really don't have anything that I'm hiding or that I hide from anybody about my past or anything like that. So, sorry, I think I'm getting sick for real. Anyways, I'm going to quit talking because otherwise this is going to be like a 30-minute video. And I hate those. Well, for myself anyways, because I don't feel like I'm that interesting. So, that's it. All right, until next week on Wednesday, hopefully I'll be back with a bigger weight loss. Bye, everybody.